Is the trend to turn everyone into an imaginary character? Maybe, but the second Astral Express character just received her transformation form. The newest March 7th path is here. She'll be a 4-star imaginary hunt with some pretty unique abilities, since everyone will receive her through the Trailblaze continuance missions, and should use her because she's amazing. We'll talk about her best Lightcones, Relics, Teamcomps, and Eidolons last as usual, discussing both her crit and break builds, because she can do both. So for starters, March will be getting her own signature Lightcone, but no one knows anything about it as of currently, so I can't really talk about it. So as of now, her best in slot Lightcone for a DPS build will be In the Night, Zila's signature. Another strong limited 5-star is Topaz's signature, Worrisome Blissful, and then her free-to-play options are Cruising in the Stellar Sea at S5. This will be her free-to-play best in slot, but also Swordplay at S5 works pretty much equally, just against single target content though. For her break effect build, Boot Hill signature is by far her best in slot. Unfortunately, it is the only hunt Lightcone that gives break effect, among other things, so other options for her would just be Lightcones that give speed buffs, like River Flows in Spring, or even Adversarial at S5. As for relics, March 7 is really flexible, so for her crit build, Musketeer will be her best in slot since it increases attack, speed, and basic attack damage for her enhanced basics, but two-piece combinations perform pretty similarly. Combined sets like Musketeer, Messenger, Wastelander, Prisoner, Valorous, Pioneer, whatever has the best substats. For planar ornaments, of course, Rudolent Arena is best, enhancing her basic attacks and giving crit rate. However, Izumo works really well if you're using another hunt character as her Shifu, and then Firmament works at 135 speed, but it's not as good. Moving on to her break effect build, March wants the 4-piece Iron Cavalry set. It's completely broken, just farm it. For her planar ornaments, Forge is her best in slot if she's going up against fire weak enemies. Because of her unique A4 trace, she can reduce enemy toughness based on the element of her Shifu. So with a fire ally, Forge performs really well despite her being imaginary. But outside of fire weak teams, the Talia set will be her best. Lastly, for her relics, let's talk about March's ideal main stats and substats. So she wants crit on the body for both builds, speed on the boots for both builds, and imaginary damage percent or attack percent on the orb for both builds. Whatever has best substats will perform better. For her crit build, her rope should be attack percent, and for her break effect build, her rope should be, of course, break effect. Crit build substat priority is crit rate crit damage, speed until 124, because her E1 gives 10% speed unconditionally, which puts her up to 134, and then attack percent. Substat priority for her break effect build is speed until 124 or 135 if you're using Talia, and then break effect and attack percent. Also, crit is fine for her break effect build, it's just less valuable. Onto March's team comps. So a lot of people are talking about this hyper carry slash insane advanced forward comp of March, Robin, Bronya, and Gallagher. This comp does work and has a ton of action value since there's Robin's ult, Bronya's skill, Gallagher when he ults. March can build a ton of stacks in this comp, but some of her kit doesn't really get utilized. March is really designed to be played in a dual DPS comp, preferably with another DPS who has a lot of action value, like Topaz, Dr. Ratio, Jade, or even Zila. The goal with her is to build as many stacks as quickly as possible. Also, side note, if you're playing her with a follow-up DPS, then pair them with Robin and Adventure In, and you'll just kill everything super easily. Finally, there is the idea of Super Break with March. I know some people will try this comp with Ruan Mei, Harmony MC, and Gallagher, making Gallagher her Shifu. Personally, not a huge fan of this comp. Like, it works, it's just building stacks for her. Feels a little bit slow, but of course it's still a decent comp, especially because 3 of the 4 units are easy to get. 2 of them you get for free, that being March and Harmony MC. Honestly, everyone should have pulled Ruan Mei by now. She does so much for your account. Final section of the video, Eidolons. So all of March's Eidolons will be completely free, given to us just from playing the game, but as a 2.4, we will only be able to unlock up to E3. Regardless, I'm going to talk about all of them. So E1 increases March's speed by 10% when she has a Shifu, since she should skill once at the start of every battle. This is an unconditional 10% speed buff. E2 is definitely her best. When her Shifu basics her skills, she does a follow-up while also having her skills corresponding effect trigger based on her Shifu's path, and then she gains a stack of charge, limited to 1 per turn. So this Eidolon allows her to build more stacks, which is essential for her damage. E4 allows her to regenerate 5 energy per turn. Since she has a low ult cost of 110 and has a ton of turns, this Eidolon builds up to be pretty useful. Then finally E6. When March ults, her next enhanced basic attack gains 50% crit damage. This is another insane Eidolon and gives her a massive damage boost for her crit build. Unfortunately, it's not as useful for her break effect build. So there seems to be a trend with turning all the Astral Express units into broken imaginary units. I'm not complaining though. For a free 4-star, she performs pretty damn well.